In his first month as Polish president, Karol Nawrocki vetoed a critical bill for Ukrainian refugees who fled the war to the safety of Poland. The new president wants to make certain that social benefits limited to those who work and pay taxes here in Poland. The veto also affects critical services that the Polish government provides for Kyiv, such as Starlink services for the Ukrainian armed forces, which is critical for the war effort. And now joining me to discuss this and other matters related to Ukraine is Roland Freudenstein, co-founder of the Brussels Freedom Hub. Hello, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on World News Tonight.
Good evening, and thanks for having me.
Yes, now we're going to delve into kind of some domestic politics here first, because many in Poland are wondering about the outside view of Poland. And, you know, in your opinion, what do you think about the signal? What signal is sent that the Polish president, well, is saying to our international partners by vetoing this bill? Is Poland beginning to turn on Ukraine?
Well, I think, first of all, people are puzzled because, frankly speaking, most international observers do not know the domestic context and do not know how deeply split Poland is and how destructive the conflict between the president and the government has become. So people just don't know what to make of this. They have always considered Poland as a staunch supporter of Ukraine, and that goes from supporting refugees to arming the Ukrainian armed forces to supporting Ukraine's NATO membership and politically doing everything to help Ukraine against the Russian aggression. So, you know, but suddenly we have a situation where the Polish president seems to be more keen to impress his friends in the White House and the MAGA movement in Washington. And that creates some kind of cognitive dissonance, I'm afraid. People don't really know what to make of it. I mean, those who know Poland's domestic troubles, of course, can somehow explain this. But everybody thinks that this is a great pity.
Indeed. And, you know, how can Poland ask for the United States to do more, to support Ukraine, to change its tactics, and to use the stick against Vladimir Putin and Russia if the president is embracing the rising anti-Ukrainian sentiment here in Poland for domestic political gain?
Well, that question might be turned around and we might ask Poles themselves, right? So I really think that this is something up to Poles and Polish citizens to solve. There's nothing the rest of the world can do. You know, what should ideally happen is that Poland renews its unconditional support of the Ukrainian cause. And maybe it would be a good thing for the staunchest supporters of Ukraine in Poland itself to make more of a case that supporting Ukraine is a question of Polish national interest and not just, you know, the old Szlachta, Polish nobility, bonhomie and you know, trying to shine the light of civilization into the borderlands. You know, that's not the way to argue for support for Ukraine in the third decade of the 21st century. So, you know, invoking Polish national interest and saying that if Ukraine loses this, if Ukraine becomes a Russian colony de facto, Poland will be next as a victim of aggression. And, you know, that doesn't mean that Poland has to send forces immediately, like probably Britain, France, and Germany will do, and others. But Poland should more unequivocally support the cause of defending Ukraine.
Well, I'm gonna challenge you right there, because then again, as well, I mean, I'd say that this is on both sides of the aisle here. I mean, Should Poland be a part of the coalition of the willing in terms of sending troops? You know, Poland wants to send, Poland plans on having the largest land army by the end of the decade. They're spending more than anybody is in terms of GDP per capita on, modernizing its army and on weapons and what have you. Maybe Poland, like Estonia, should send a few troops to Ukraine. And would this boost Poland's image abroad?
Absolutely. In an ideal world, you're absolutely right. This should be the case. Poland should send troops. Now, the fact that Poland right now is not committing any troops doesn't mean that it will never send any. But it certainly won't be among the first, and it won't be among the countries that send the highest amounts of troops. But we all have to recognize, and this is now up to Poland's friends and partners, we have to recognize that the current Polish government is probably the best we can get in terms of supporting Ukraine and in terms of being a cooperative, constructive partner in Europe. And the current Polish government feels that there are reasons why they cannot go all in. They cannot commit as many troops as Britain, France, Germany, and others. And Poland will definitely help Ukraine in other ways. So I think that Poland's partners should really take that into consideration and understand that the Polish government is in the situation it's in, got a hostile president of the state, and thereby has to somehow also take into consideration the part of the Polish population that is not exactly supporting this government, and that pertains to Ukraine as well.
Well, it seems that domestic politics and those considerations seem to be taking priority here. Now moving on, since Donald Trump has yet to put secondary sanctions on buyers of Russian oil, Zelensky has decided to on primary sanctions in the form of attacks on Russian oil terminals and refining capabilities. Now, according to Forbes, 1/3 of Russia's refining capacity has been taken down. Will this impact Russia's operations on the front line, in your opinion?
Well, in the mid and long term, yes, definitely. So it becomes more difficult to supply troops, to supply frontline units with gasoline and fuel. That's one thing. But the other effect is psychological on Russian citizens themselves. Up to today, for a middle class or rich Russian in the big cities, it was possible to pretend that this war is somehow not happening. It's some faraway thing, and the people who are dying are, in their vast majority, soldiers from ethnic areas, from rural areas, but not from the big cities and not from the Russian middle class. Now, if there are suddenly very long queues at gas stations, if gasoline prices skyrocket in Russia, that is a fantastic instrument to make it clear to the average Russian that, hey, you will not be untouched by this war of aggression that your president has started. So I think that there is a psychological and a political component here, which is as important as the military one, which is, of course, yes, negative and inhibiting Russian aggression at the front line.
All right. Well, with that, we've run out of time. Roland Freudenstein, co-founder of Brussels Freedom Hub, thank you so much for joining us tonight on World News Tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And that concludes this edition of World News Tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Good night.